Are you so excited to be here? Yes! One more time, how excited are we? Yeah! I dated this guy for 3 months. I told him I wanted to be his boyfriend. His response was, "Oh, I'm so busy." And it went right over my head. I didn't take the hint. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so busy too. Let's be busy together." And he was like, "Sure, buddy." That's what pissed me off. I was like, "Buddy? I'm not your buddy, friend. I'm your potential new boyfriend, the shining light in your life. I think I should be addressed a little more appropriately than that. Preferably goddess. Perfection. The only man I've ever loved. You know, pet names." Anyway, he ghosted me. It's fine, I'm used to it. But I was really serious about this guy, and I was racking my brain trying to figure out why that was. I mean, his dick was huge, but I don't think that was it. And I thought, you know, I don't have daddy issues. It's not like I have daddy issues. I do have daddy issues. Never mind. I will bend over forwards for any man who's like a father figure to me. But he was nothing like my dad. I mean, he did stop talking to me once I was vulnerable with him, but I don't think that's it. But no, I think the reason I was so serious about this guy is because I'm just behind. I'm the last of my cousins to get married, and my redneck-ass family goes through marriages like they go through Bud Light and cigarettes. I'm 30 and I have not even been engaged yet. My grandma's on her 7th marriage. My mom got married 5 times in 9 years. I'm jealous of my mother for how much dick she could get. Like, if I had half as much game as my mom, I would be toe-to-toe with my grandma. I'd be like, "Yo, grandma, I bet I can get to 10 dudes before you can get to 8. And she'd be like, "Bet, let's do it." Then we'd have a really weird family dynamic. Not the weirdest one in the family, but still pretty weird. Unfortunately, I am gay. Not that I want to be straight. God, no. Ew. Could you imagine? Nightmare. But no, it's unfortunate because everything I learned as a kid does not apply to my life as an adult now. You see, my parents, they assumed I was straight, and they were the only ones. Let's be real. Like, when I came out to the rest of my family, I was expecting shock and awe. Like, "You? No, never." Instead, what they said was, "Yeah, no shit, Twinkle Toes. You wanted to play Mary in the nativity play every year because you wanted to wear the pretty dress. We knew." But my parents were just like full Cleopatra, queen of denial. Like, when I came out to them, my dad was just focused on the sex aspect. He was like, "How does that work? What are you even gonna do? Haven't you ever had a prostate exam? They're not fun." And I was like, "Dad, I'm 13. Tell the doctor to use a little more lube. Have him tickle it a little bit, it'll blow your mind." But no, my parents taught me to be straight, and they taught me how to date girls, and I gotta say, not for me. Way too many rules. Like, I had to be a gentleman, whatever that means. Like, I had to open the doors, I had to pay for every meal, I had to grab her titty. And then she just said, "Stop," it means keep going. I don't know how to grab a woman's breast. It's probably because I respect them too much. No other reason. But no, dating as a gay man is a lot different because a lot of those rules kind of just go out the window. Like, we get to define our own relationship. For example, I went on a date with this gentleman. We met at this really cute bistro called My Apartment. The dress code was super casual, we both wore nothing. And at the end, we defined the relationship by never speaking again. Fun fact, he was a cocaine dealer. Unfortunately, I did not get any drugs out of the deal. The only one who got any crack was him. Not for lack of trying, though. Let me tell you. But, I don't know. I have realized lately that the healthiest relationship I have is with my glass dildo. His name is Idris Elba. And you know, I don't know why I asked for more. Idris is the perfect man. Like, he's long, he's dependable. He's just a little bit cold, like it's perfect. Speaking of masturbation, show of hands, who here watches straight porn? Alright, most of you are liars. We'll get this corner. But I have a quick question. Have you guys ever noticed that the women sound like they're in pain? No? Alright, maybe you aren't liars. Whatever. But no, they always sound like they're being murdered. And I have a question for the straight men in the room. Do you find that attractive?
Yeah.
Cool. Follow-up question. Are you a serial killer? Please stay away from him. Please.
No, I don't have a pattern.
Someone call the police. Oh no.
But have you asked the women if they find that attractive?
Women, do you find that attractive?
Yup.
Serial killer? Like, don't get me wrong, gay porn is weird, but like, I've seen men tied up with all manner of household objects shoved up their rectum. But at least they sound like they're enjoying themselves. Like, you could take like porn, you could take sound clips from Pornhub and post it on a true crime podcast, and no one would know the difference. Genuinely, truly. I don't know. I find talking about sex as a comedian weird because it's just kind of a low bar, like my expectations. But I grew up religious, so sex was very taboo, right? Like, the only sex education I got was Satan invented condoms to trick you into hating God. Don't use them. Sex is for procreation only. I did take the no condom thing to heart, but that's, neither here nor there. This gentleman knows what I'm talking about. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I like talking about sex, because I think it's silly that we get so uncomfortable about it. Like, how do you think we got here? Like, listen, your dad raw dogged your mom a bunch of times. He tore that pussy up, and then 9 months later, you tore that pussy up. So why don't we talk about it more? Tell me about your parents. Fuck it. I'm kidding, please don't do that. Wildly inappropriate. So, I'm depressed. Not because of any of that, just like, existence. But I am out dating, and I would love to find a boyfriend, but I have found that dating while depressed has turned my inner monologue into this angry, gay Disney villain. Like, I'll see a happy couple walk by, and I'll just immediately think, I should skin their puppies. I need a new jacket. It's worse for couples I know. Like, my best friend is in a loving, committed relationship, and all I can think about is drowning her in a giant hourglass filled with sand. I thought about putting her in a bikini and tying her up first, but I think her boyfriend might like that a little too much. Then he'd show up with a genie, he'd defeat me, and be a whole to-do. I don't want to deal with that. But I'm out there, I'm out on the apps, I'm on every single app. I'm on Tinder, Bumble, Grindr, Scruff, Adam for Adam, Facebook, Instagram, Zillow. My traps are set. And I went into it, like, especially with Tinder, I tried to be really mindful about it. Like, I was gonna look at the guy's profile, look at his picture, see if he wanted to kidnap a princess or two. But instead, I just, like, swipe for 2 seconds, and then Tinder tells me I'm out of potential matches, and then mocks me for it. It's like, ooh, no more dudes in your area, but there's still 20 men who like you. We'll show them to you for 12 small payments of $19.95. Which, if I'm gonna pay to get a man, I better be getting, like, the best of the best. Like, I want it to be like Ewan McGregor, like Vin Diesel, Sir Mix-a-Lot, like something good. Listen, he still got it. Baby got back. But no, men in general, we tend to be slutty and superficial, right, men?
Yes.
Thank you. Especially gay men, like, we're just constantly feeding on each other, both literally and figuratively. And, like, I'm not the most conventionally attractive person in the world. Don't get me wrong, I'm a catch. Like, I'm adorable, I'm in therapy, I'm traumatized just enough to be hilarious, but not to be an asshole. But the guys who actively pursue me, at least in public, let's just call them geriatric. No, it's fine. I can't tell you how many gentlemen have propositioned me to suck their dick in a bar bathroom. I was taught to care for the elderly, so I do it every time. Gentlemen, I see a few of you. I'll see you later. If you want, no pressure. But where was I going after that? Oh yeah. But I am on Grindr. Do you nice people know what Grindr is?
Yep.
I'm sorry. So for those of you who don't know, Grindr is a gay hookup app where Tinder is having like a one-night stand in your bedroom with a condom. Grindr is getting raw dogged in the parking lot by a guy whose face you've never seen. Which, if that's how I define my husband, so be it. But I live out in Olympia, and the further away you get from any major city, the worse Grindr gets. Like, for you guys, straight people, y'all are overpopulated. You're everywhere. So even you can find something worthwhile in the dumpsters that are humanity. But when I go dumpster diving, all I find are 18-year-olds fresh out of high school or married men who want to get dicked down when their wife and kids aren't home. Which, by the way, ladies, especially those of you with men, please check his phone for Grindr. Especially if he's low-key homophobic, like if he's really concerned with being masculine, if he refuses to drink White Claw because it's bitch beer. Like, if he so much as implies that you belong in the kitchen, check his phone for Grindr. And if you find it, you can let him know that I'll be in the parking lot after the show. No condoms required. So not only am I depressed, I'm also anxious as fuck. And I've dealt with anxiety my entire life. Like, I don't know, when I was a kid, if my parents left me home alone, if they weren't back the second they said they were going to be, they were dead. Like, and I became an orphan in panic mode. Like, they would come home to me, mailing out invitations to their wake, on hold with the IRS, trying to figure out how to pay taxes as a 10-year-old. Like, I was freaked the fuck out. And I've dealt with anxiety my entire life. And to this day, I never know what's gonna trigger it. Sometimes it's really simple, like I didn't drink enough water, I didn't eat that day, I woke up. Other days, it's completely nonsensical, like what if I go outside and a squirrel tries to fight me? What am I gonna do? What if I wake up and I'm straight? Nightmare. Side note, actually, speaking of being gay, I gotta say, one of the best things about being an adult is now coming out is actually a lot of fun. Not when I'm like in a scary rural era. I'm like, no. If I'm back in Shelton, I'm like, I'm straight, love girls, sports ball. But out here in civilized society where it's safe, I love coming out, especially to straight dudes, because I get one of two options. The first response I get is complete obliviousness. I could be like, yes, queen, work, and they'll be like, did you get any pussy this weekend? And I'd be like, yes, Chad, I did. Other times, they're like a little defensive. They're like, it's fine, you're gay, bro, just don't hit on me. And I'm like, oh, I'm not attracted to men who use 2-in-1 shampoo. So sorry. I don't say that though, I'm polite. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not my type. And 9 times out of 10, they get defensive again. They're like, whoa, why not? To which I say, I like more masculine men. And then I get to watch them break inside, and that's very fun to me. Anyway, back to anxiety. Had it my entire life, was scared my parents would die at any moment. And even to this day, like, I never know what's gonna trigger it. It could be something simple, it could be completely ridiculous. Like, for example, I went to a concert a few weeks ago to a band I've loved for 20 years. Never seen them live, got floor tickets, it was fucking amazing. I spent the entire time worried that I was ruining it for everyone else because I was singing too loud. The next day I watched my video and I heard my heartbeat screeches and I was like, I can never go to a concert again. I'm fucked. Can never do it. I'm also a millennial, so I was a gifted kid, right? Which basically means, I see we have some millennials. They're giggling already. Basically what it means is us as gifted kids, I read a newspaper when I was a toddler, and the rest of my childhood was, oh my god, you're amazing, you can do whatever you want, here's a trophy just for existing. And I believed them. I wanted to prove them right. So when my parents came home and were in fact alive, I was a little disappointed. Like my chance to prove myself as a gifted kid died, unlike my parents. I can tell that made you uncomfortable. It's fine, don't worry. It all worked out in the end. My mom's dead, so I got my chance. But can I be vulnerable with you guys for a minute? Yes. Please. Do you want to know what scares me most of all? More than squirrels? More than being straight? The thing that scares me most of all is Bigfoot. Seriously, I grew up out in Shelton, and you guys know that any sort of like small Pacific Northwest town, that's where the Bigfoot crazy is at its craziest, right? Like when I was growing up, Bigfoot was everywhere. It was in people's yards, it was on stickers. There's a whole espresso stand called Bigfoot Java, which, that thing is terrible coffee, right? Like I'm not crazy. Every time I drive past one though, people are lined out in the street to get a nutty Yeti. Which doesn't sound like a coffee. Sounds like what happens to my butthole in the parking lot when I hang out with your husbands. No, remember, I'm scared of squirrels. I didn't think Bigfoot was cool or hip. I was not like, yay, super cool, giant monkey monster. No, horrifying, fucking scared. And like, I don't know why we Washingtonians are just like obsessed with the idea of this 8-person wandering through the woods. I say person, by the way, because I don't want to assume Bigfoot's gender. I'm not the monster. But my mom was obsessed with Bigfoot. She fancied herself an amateur Bigfoot hunter. And we were like this big camping and hiking family. And anytime we were outside and something mildly unexplainable happened, it was Bigfoot. Like we would come across a weird poop on the ground and she would just get this twinkle in her eye. She'd get so excited, she'd be like, do you think that was him? It looks fresh, he must have just been here. Or we'll come across like a cave or like a nest of some kind and she'll make a point to show it to me and be like, that's where Bigfoot lives. Which scared the shit out of me. Literally, I was shit on the ground and my parents were like, was that Bigfoot? My mom's favorite movie was Harry and the Hendersons. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Cool. For those of you who have not, it's this fantastic 80s movie where Lord Farquaad from Shrek hits Bigfoot with his car, takes him home, nurses him back to health, and he becomes part of the family. That was my mom's dream in life. She wanted to find a Bigfoot, raise it as her own, and finally have a child she could be proud of. One time we came home to our house broken into, like the windows were smashed, the electronics were stolen. My mom turns to my dad and goes, "Did you think that was him?" And me being older, no doubt, I was like, "Mom!" The pronouns are they, them. But I don't know why people want to find Bigfoot. Like, I grew up seeing animals in the woods all the time. None of them are nice. They're all scary. Elk, those are just Godzilla deer that could kill you with a stump of a hoof. Cougars, those are just giant house cats, because your cat would kill you if it was a few feet taller. Bears, I see those every day, on Grindr. So there is no way in hell, on God's green earth, that I believe that Bigfoot is kind. Absolutely not. And my family took camping very, very seriously. Like, we went out to the wilderness. This was not the state park 20 minutes down the road where you're surrounded by people and there's a working toilet. No, this was the wilderness. There was no cell service, no people. If you were getting lost, you were never getting found. Which made Bigfoot the perfect criminal. You can't get caught if nobody knows you exist. And I knew he was out there, waiting, preying on unsuspecting little boys like me, like some sort of cryptid Catholic priest. Listen, I grew up religious. I've been hit in the head with way too many Bibles to fall for that trick again. But no, my mom loved Bigfoot, and it brought her a lot of joy in life. She passed away very suddenly when I was about 17, and I was out of town when it happened. And when I got the news, I instinctively knew that Bigfoot fucking killed my mom. She finally found her and he ate her for dinner. Until it made some people uncomfortable. You guys, it's fine. Bigfoot did kill my mom. It was cancer. But it's very interesting because I have been thinking about my mom's relationship with Bigfoot, and I think she just wanted to marry him. Out of all the dudes she went through, she just wanted some big, tall, hairy dude. I mean, I guess the apple doesn't really fall that far from the tree. So I'm primarily attracted to tall, hairy dudes, so if you know anyone who looks like Bigfoot, hit me up. I'll be in the parking lot. Thank you, everybody. Before I give the mic back to the sexy host, does anyone like stickers? Yeah, so I have stickers. It's a little Bigfoot sticker. It says Cryptid Catholic Priest on it. So if you'd like to buy one, just like give me $1, $2, buy me a drink or something. I would love to give you a sticker. Thank you guys so much. My name is Corey Bennett. Give it up your host.
Keep it going for the very funny Corey Bennett, my favorite comic.